and welcome to another podcast of Response Agility. I'm your host, Margaret Graziano. Today with me is Janice Burt, and she is here to talk about fear. Do you know Response Agility is about moving from friction to flow? Fear is in the friction category. It causes dis-ease in the body. I'm not saying you want it to go away and never have it, but you want to learn what to do with it when it comes, because it will come. It always does. So Janice is here to talk to us today about it. So what is your overarching theme around fear or statement around fear?
I would say that it freaking sucks. No. No. It's true that there is a level of fear that keeps us safe. It's just, its purpose is to keep us safe. So as long as we kind of know that when we're dealing with it, that helps a lot. For me in my life, though, fear controlled it. And I would say just to the point where I was fearful of everything. I was scared to be on a podcast like this because what if I don't know what to say? What if you ask me a question? I'm like, what the heck's the answer? What if I look like a fool? A lot of fears of rejection, criticism, failure, not being perfect. So
are you saying fear ran your life?
Fear ran my life. Here's what I say, which is hilarious, is that fear was in the driver's seat. And I don't even think I was in the back seat. I think I was in the trunk, blindfolded and gagged. Like that's how much fear was controlling my decisions and how I showed up in my life.
So, and your body of work is what around fear? Is it walking through a fear a day, or stepping in a fear a day, or mastering a fear in a year? I got confused because at first I thought it was stepping through a different fear every day. And then I thought it was stepping through a different fear every year, but I think it's somewhere in the middle.
It's one fear per year because I would easily get overwhelmed when I first started dealing with fear. If you live in a prison of fear for decades, it's very difficult when you initially open that door and you start stepping out of that prison. It feels very overwhelming and it almost feels like it's too much. So in my mind, I thought, if I can do one thing that totally pulls me out of my comfort zone at least once a year, then I'm going to make some progress. No matter how slow, I am going to start transforming my life and who I am as a person.
So one thing a year that pulls you out of your comfort zone. So it's not necessarily one fear, because to do that one thing out of the comfort zone, it could be a litany of fears, because that one thing out of your comfort zone probably had a lot of little micro comfort zone steps to get up to that one thing, right?
Totally.
So we got one fear per year. And this is for all people, but also people who struggle with, like, fear is in the driver's seat and you feel paralyzed by fear. And some people, either you or someone you know or someone you live with, is paralyzed by fear, and they're going to want to hear this podcast. So you said that this really impacted your life, Janice. Could you tell us a little bit about what you did for a living and how this impacted that? Like, I want to know how it impacted your professional life, how fear impacted your professional life, your personal life, your relationships, because I'm curious about that. And I think our listeners will be curious, like, to hear themselves in that.
Yes. So I lived in Mexico City as a little girl. My parents were missionaries. So I lived there from the time I was 8 years old till I was 13.
Wow.
And I would say during that time, there was fear involved, but it was almost like more of an adventure. I think I viewed that time of my life as, you know, my parents are here. This is an adventure. How fun. And it was actually one of the best times in my life was living down there. But we moved back to the United States when I was 13, and I was put into this school, a junior high school, which, you know, kids can be horrible and not super nice. So I went from kind of being on this pedestal in Mexico City because I spoke English, I'm from the United States, and they looked at you like you were some hotshot. So I went from that to being bullied at school, chased around the track, girls trying to pants me, like as I'm running in PE. And I had big glasses on at the time, so making fun of me. So it was like this huge contrast to feeling really good and confident to falling flat on my face and feeling insignificant and very insecure.
I think you just spoke to 90% of middle schoolers for a different reason, but what a time and to have all that happen. And so you came back to this country and became absolutely a no one or someone that people wanted to be mean to.
Yes.
Okay. And so how did that impact your life as you grew up, as you became, 20 and 25 and 30?
I have so much empathy for people at school, students who are bullied and who have to go to school every day with this fear of like, am I going to be put in the trash can today? Like, are people going to try to spit in my food? I mean, it's pretty brutal. And I think as adults, sometimes we distance ourselves from that. We forget, or maybe we never had that experience, but as having that experience for probably 3 years of like junior high and high school, of trying to be such a chameleon that nobody would notice me, so that nobody would pick on me or try to bully me. I lived in kind of a rough part of Sacramento when we moved back. So that was the deal. Like, you just did not rock the boat. You didn't want to be seen. You didn't want to stand out because you didn't want to suffer the consequences of that.
So how did that impact you later in life?
So later in life, I started developing this deep insecurity and not feeling good enough, and also not wanting to rock the boat, have a differing opinion. And that's just one of the things in my life that impacted me.
How did that impact you, like in your work life? What were you doing then, and how did it impact you?
Well, work. So I worked a couple of jobs like food service, and I think I was a errands girl at a law firm for a year. And then I got married really young. I was 20 years old. It was my
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. How old were you?
I think I had the shotgun wedding. My mother made me do it at 20 years old. I did not want to get married.
Oh.
I knew it. But, our family was, you don't talk back.
Mm-hmm.
How about yours?
Well, no, my family was very religious in more of a legalistic sense, I would say. And so it was, you guys have been together for 3 or 4 years now, and you either need to break up. Our pastor actually told us, you have to break up or get married, because otherwise you're, living in this sinful state and you can't do that. So I don't know that we would have gotten married that young either, had it not been a almost kind of forced, because I didn't want to break up with him. But I also was like, man, getting married this young is kind of an interesting thing.
So you made some bad choices or weren't making choices for yourself.
Yes.
That's really what we both, maybe fear was running my show too. Who knows? Now, when did you realize that fear was interrupting your life the way you wanted to live it? When did you realize? How old were you? What was your wake up moment?
My wake up moment was my marriage and my relationship with my ex-husband, because probably we got married so young. There was a point where he started questioning his faith and questioning everything, and also questioning, are we meant to be monogamous as human beings? Maybe I want to go explore some other things out there. And so when this was presented to me, I fought it a lot. There were different things that he wanted to do that I didn't want to do and didn't feel comfortable doing. But as a people pleaser and as someone who was very used to getting validation from other people, I was like, well, he's my husband. I want to make him happy. I'm going to do these things that were morally outside of who I was and what I wanted to be doing. And it got to the point where it was no longer a marriage in terms of a monogamous marriage as you would view a marriage. And it was more painful for me to be in that marriage than to say, I need to separate from you. It started as a separation and then it ended up in a divorce pretty quickly after.
How did fear play into that? Or is that when you overcame the fear by choosing to stand up for what you believed in and what was important to you? Because it sounds like you had a moral dilemma, which is often what happens. That's what happened to me when I was with that software company. Like I had 3 windows to pick from, and I picked the people who did it before and who knew how to get funding and were already building a product like it. So it was the path of least resistance. But then the CEO and I, like, he wanted to disintermediate human resources, like people, out of the hiring process. And that was not what my vision for the product was. But I realized that my waking moment was when I realized that I compromised what I believed in for my, don't take this the wrong way, but I had an obsession with being successful. So my obsession with being successful compromised what I knew was right for me. I was out of alignment. It sounds like you were out of alignment from the very beginning when he wanted to have a non-conventional relationship and you didn't want to, but you did it because you felt obligated, or like it was your job to please him. And so that kind of obsession is an obsession with being liked, audience. That's an obsession with being liked. You compromise your values so people like you. And we all do it. It's called a need for approval. So thank you for coming out of the closet on your need for approval. But then you had a wake-up call.
Oh, yeah.
When was it when you said, oh my gosh, this fear? What was the age? The reason I ask is because you're still kind of young. You were married young, but there was something that happened in your life that you said, a fear a year. Like, what was that moment?
So I was probably 36, if I remember correctly, when I read Eat, Pray, Love. Elizabeth Gilbert, I love you. Oh my gosh, I love her. So I read this book and it's like she's speaking my language directly to me. And in that moment, reading that book, I knew my intuition, my God-given sense of like the path I needed to be on. I knew that I needed to tell him, we need to separate or I can't do what we're doing right now. And even still, knowing that 100%, I waited 6 more months to say those words till it got so painful. And it started as a separation, and then we ended up divorcing. And in that time, I was really good at blaming other people, my ex-husband, my dad. There were some things with my dad, all of these people, feeling very self-righteous about it. And after doing that for a little bit, I realized, I mean, that's cool and everything, but I'm still stuck. I'm still miserable. I'm not moving forward. So what I need to do is change myself. Bottom line, like, how do I change myself? Because I was in so much emotional pain that I was like, which way's up? Is this way up?
Did you see a therapist? Did you see a therapist, or did you come to this epiphany on your own?
Well, I came to the epiphany of I needed to change something on my own. And then I went and I saw all kinds of therapy. I did all kinds of therapy, every kind imaginable. Hypnotherapy actually was the one where it went deeper into my subconscious. And I actually saw and felt the fear inside of me. And with that realization, I was like, well, what do you do when fear controls your life and is completely enveloping you? You have to do those things that scare you, the things you've been avoiding your entire life. And that's when I said, I'm going to do one thing every year that is something I normally wouldn't do, but that I know will change me.
And what are some of the things that you've done that have changed you?
So I've done, let's see, I ran a marathon, felt like that was impossible. I self-published a memoir with kind of some family secrets and stuff, and that was really scary. I competed in a bodybuilding competition. I would say that was probably the most facets of, you're talking about being scared on different levels. That one incorporated a lot of them. I did things like
that's what we call a triple hitter.
That's a triple threat. No, like stand-up comedy, which, they're laughing or they're
comedy?
Not. Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
That was fun, but very nerve-wracking, because when you're looking and you expect, it's expectations. If you expect a certain reaction and then you don't get it and you haven't done the internal work, you're like, I failed. I suck. I'm miserable. I shouldn't be here, those kind of things. So that's a lot of mental rewriting of the script. I did things like I joined this dance team, and I'm not a dancer, by the way. I don't think I have great rhythm at all, but it was like this choreographed dance team. And we danced in the halftime show at the Kings basketball game one year. I started acting. I auditioned for a short film and started acting.
Did you get the film?
I got the part, one of the parts. Sometimes then later I would audition for things and not get them. But the first one I auditioned for, I actually ended up getting that part. And
awesome. It
was really fun and terrifying. And that's the thing. It's like fun and terrifying.
So tell us a little bit about how do you earn a living? Because you seem like you have this amazing life where you travel and you go down to Mexico and you're at these races and then you're at some other thing. And I'm like, whatever she's doing, I want some.
Well, that's what's hilarious about this fear journey that I didn't expect when I began like 14 years ago, is that now a lot of the things that I did that scared me, now I get paid for. Which blows my mind. So acting is
like what? Acting? Awesome.
Acting. I do voiceover work.
Oh, I could totally see that. I could totally hear that.
Really? And I'm a Spanish interpreter. So during that time, I got my Spanish certification to be able to interpret for the court system. Public speaking. I was terrified to speak in front of a group, and I joined Toastmasters. I started speaking little by little, and now I've done 2 TEDx talks and a couple keynotes and different things like that. So now I get paid for actually doing those things that I was avoiding at all costs my entire life.
So something is inspiring me to ask this. It seems like to walk through a fear a year, it actually takes something.
Like purpose, your why?
I don't know. You've got to tell me. Is it your why? It seems like it's like a behavior. You have to have a behavior that says, I'm going to put one foot in front of the other, because otherwise you wouldn't do it.
I think it's a little grit, a little dash of determination, a little competitiveness. I have this little competitive edge, I think, that I've had since I was young. Like fun competitive. I'm not like a sore loser or anything. No, I'm just kidding.
Not a sore loser or anything.
Yeah.
Funny. Okay, so Janice, what is your next fear? What are you working on now?
Oh my gosh. And this is a big one. And this is in the works. It's still, I haven't even really talked about it or presented it on any platform yet.
Okay, well, you are now.
So you're the first to know. I am going to be a bilingual TV show host.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I'm over the moon and also terrified. That's the thing. It's like we can be both, or like now I say, instead of terrified, I'm really trying to reframe that to like, I'm super freaking excited. And so you get the nerves and the thing, because that's just a normal byproduct of something new and exciting that you're going to do.
So what is your show about?
So it's still in the works. We're just getting all the contract and onboarding stuff and things like that. But I'm pretty sure the name is going to be Spanish Janice, which is actually my business name. And it's going to be, I believe, a variety show of sorts. So I want it to be inspirational, lighthearted, but also deep at moments, that goes to the root of some issues, and then having interviews, teaching some yoga things.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a variety of
And is it going to be on
things.
YouTube or what? How do we get it?
So it's on Roku and Apple TV.
Oh my God, how fun.
Yes, it's called Now Media TV is the name of the broadcasting company.
Nice. I love it. I can't wait. Do you know when you don't know when your first episode, because you're still in creation mode.
Probably about a month. So we're getting all the
Spanish Janice.
logos, and
Who's
I know.
Who's your co? What is the co? Does the co speak? You said you're co-hosting, right? Or you're hosting?
I'm hosting.
Oh. Wow. And you guys are going to broadcast worldwide?
Yes. Yeah, they have stations in Mexico City, Houston, all over. They're actually, yeah, go ahead.
Are you speaking Spanish in it, or are you speaking English?
That's what I would love your thoughts, because there's both options. I could do English and I could do Spanish.
I would do Spanish and whatever it's called. Quote.
Subtitles.
Yeah. Spanish Janice is the name of it. I would think plus I could learn Spanish listening to you.
That's true. I do like the idea of subtitles and a little Spanish. Spanish is more challenging for me because obviously it's not my native language.
Yeah.
Although, I learned it young, but I have more vocabulary accessible in English than in Spanish usually.
Well, then do it in English. But I like Spanish Janice. I mean, at least then you have to say hello in both languages and then goodbye in both languages. And then you have to do a little bit of Spanish. Otherwise, I might think you're doing a bait and switch.
True. It has to match. It has to make sense and be in alignment, like you were saying before.
Alignment, baby. North Star. Okay, Janice Burt. If people want to find you, what are the names of your TEDx talks?
I have one that is called People Pleasing, an Addiction in Disguise.
Woo! I love it.
And then my most recent one that I did last year is One Fear Per Year.
I love it. I would love to get a TED Talk. So if you know anybody who I can contact, I have this responsibility thing. And every time I lead it, I'm getting a line through the door that we got to keep letting people in the room. People are hungry for this kind of stuff. So if you have any referrals for me, what's your website? JaniceBurt.com, or how do you do it?
That's it. JaniceBurt.com or onefearperyear.com.
Awesome. And we all have fear. The question is, are you going to be in the driver's seat, or is your fear? Thank you very much. Thank you, Janice Burt. Responsibility, moving from friction to flow.